The following is a presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports. Live from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison, this is the Chris Ash Show. Your chance to talk with the head coach of the Scarlet Knights on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Tonight's show is brought to you by To be a part of the show, give us a call at 1-877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Now, let's go live to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison to talk Rutgers football.
And welcome everybody to another edition of the Chris Ash Show here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, New Jersey. Another great crowd on hand as Rutgers prepares this week to take on the University of Maryland at High Point Solution Stadium. The doubleheader, it is Rutgers wrestling at noon and Rutgers football at 3:30, both taking on Maryland. And we are thrilled to be back once again as we get set for the two matchups this week. Wrestling coach Scott Goodale and Nick Soriano will join us a little bit later on, but right now, Chris Carlin alongside Eric LeGrand and the coach, Chris Ash. Coach, how we doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Terrific. Good to see you. E?
You look good.
Oh, well, I try. I try. Not too hard, though.
I'm doing great, Chris. I'm doing great.
Well, Scarlet Knights now at 3-5 on the year, looking for their fourth win of the season against Maryland. They fell this past weekend out at Michigan, 35-14. And, Coach, it looked like an incredibly physical football game out there in Michigan. Your impressions after watching what transpired?
Disappointed in the film. Our guys played really, really hard. Anytime you play Michigan, it's a line of scrimmage football game. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try to stop the run, and it is a physical battle. I thought we tried to make it a four-quarter game, and we really tried to do that. We just didn't execute in certain situations, and that's on me. I got to coach things better. But our efforts there, our guys never quit. They kept believing and kept battling back. We just made a few too many errors there in the second quarter that gave them a lead, and went at halftime down 21-7, and just can't do that against a good team.
And, Coach, can you break down for us in football one-on-one, understanding what gap schemes are and how they do the shifts and motions and how gaps change while the play's moving and also before the play, and how people can get, out of line and sometimes miss their gaps, and that's why, plays, go for big plays with 10 yards or plus.
Yeah, there's, the things that are called zone schemes where everyone's kind of stepping to the right together in unison or to the left in unison. Then there's gap schemes where offenses block down, they double team people, and they pull somebody around, whether it's one lineman or two linemen. And Michigan's offense is a big gap scheme offense, and it forces you to fit. And you got to be very, very disciplined to be able to fit correctly. And if you don't fit correctly, you better be violent enough to get off blocks and make tackles. And unfortunately, those two things, we didn't fit correctly on defense the whole game, and we weren't violent enough with our hands to get off blocks and make the plays that we needed to throughout that game. The result was we gave up a lot of yards rushing and gave up too many points.
You were, in the first half, able to force yet another turnover in Jawan Harris with another interception in just his third game. Tell us about Jawan and how he continues to progress at safety.
He's doing a great job. Made a huge interception there on the second drive of the game. Got us the ball back. It's two that he's got now since he's moved over to defense, and he's playing well. Got to continue to work on his run defense and his run fits. That's probably his weakness. There were some things that came up in that game that he hadn't seen before, and it hurt a little bit, but we got to do a better job of coaching him and get him prepared. But I like where he's at right now. He just keeps getting better every week.
And you talk about mixing up a little bit on the linebackers, as I know you try to mix them up and bring some bigger guys in when you're dealing with more physical run plays. Can you talk about how that goes into part of the play, in the game plan?
Yeah. When an offense gets big, when I say gets big, they bring in more tight ends and fullbacks or more offensive linemen. We have a package where we can get bigger also with more D linemen or linebackers. And playing Michigan last week, we had to do that. One of the guys that we brought in was true freshman 03 Olakunle, and he got some reps, first significant reps at linebacker here this last Saturday, and he did a nice job. So we're excited about him really being in the moment and getting a chance to perform, and he did a good job.
Our telephone number, 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869. We also have the ability to take your questions on Twitter at Rutgers Radio, on Facebook Live, the show airing right there. Your comments and questions we'll take there. And, of course, if you're in attendance here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, come on up front, see our man Bradley right over here, and we will get you on the air with your question for Coach. A couple of other instances from the game, or rather notes from the game this past week. Thought your quarterback, Giovanni Ruscino, really held in there in a very tough situation because, you know, it doesn't seem like, Coach, he's intimidated by any situations that are presented to him when you watch him out in the field.
No, he's pretty even-keeled, pretty cool cat, and never gets too high, never gets too low. We knew Michigan's defensive line is one of the best in the country, and they showed that on Saturday. We knew we were going to have to protect exceptionally well. We were going to have to get rid of the ball from the quarterback position fast. A couple times we did not. He held on to the ball too long. He got hit quite a bit, but he kept playing, and really proud of him. But you know, we got to continue to work on our pass protection. We got to work on getting rid of the ball quick. We got to work on getting separation at the wide receiver position for us to improve our pass game.
A big drive that sticks out to me was that 75-yard drive. You know, you get into a 3rd and 15 situation, and then Gio drops back, and he got rid of the ball real quick. But Jerome Washington makes this acrobatic catch to pretty much spark the offense. I feel like that play got everyone going, and then you got to make a one-handed catch on the sideline, you know. Freshman, Hayek. Can you talk about how that drive showed that, you know, the offense does have life?
Yeah, I mean, that was a great drive. We just got to do that more consistently. We need to be able to get several of those drives throughout a game to be able to beat a team like Michigan. To beat a team like Maryland, we're going to have to be able to do that more consistently. But that was a great drive, and it does show signs that we can do it. We just got to do it, again, more consistently. But that was a great throw and catch that Jerome Washington made and Gio made on that 3rd down. You know, I'll tell you a little story. We're on the sideline, and the route concept actually was, you know, verticals and a shallow crosser. He was supposed to hit the shallow crosser. But all I heard on the headset were the offensive coaches yelling, "Oh, no, what is he doing?" And then I was like, "Oh, great play, great play." So that's usually the way it works, you know.
That's awesome, Coach.
And certainly it had to be good to see Janarian Grant last week make an explosive play and a new little wrinkle in the offense as well, something that we haven't seen this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been in the package. We just haven't had an opportunity to use it. Janarian, obviously, we were taking it slow with him early in the season for him to get back into the flow of football because he just hadn't played in a long time. And the other thing, you know, we want to get him the ball a lot, but we got to be careful about overloading him, again, because of his ankle. He's already missed some time this season with it, and you know, every time he touches the ball, you just hold your breath and hope that he makes it through the play. It's just where he's at right now. But it was great to see him get his hands on the ball and make plays when he did that. And his run that he broke out of there was an outstanding run, and you could see his speed as he pulled away from the defenders.
Yeah, Coach, I think we all know how explosive he can be. But from the outsider, and tell me if I'm wrong, when you watch him, one of the more impressive aspects of it, really his decision-making. He makes a decision and goes. There's no hesitating or any juking or anything like that.
No, he's got tremendous vision. He's got excellent patience. He lets the blockers get out in front of him. He sees holes develop, and when he does, he's got that burst. He can burst through them, and he goes. He makes great decisions, and there's no hesitation. He's not evaluating with the ball in his hand. He's going to burst and take off, and when he does that, he's got that extra gear that anything's possible when he gets through the hole.
And we almost see that extra gear again on that kickoff return. Can you talk a little bit about how on that kickoff return it looked like he just got tripped up, but it got blocked perfectly. The hole opened up, and he almost took it to the house. I believe it was in the second quarter right after Michigan just had a touchdown, made it to 14-7.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row that we thought that we were really one block away, or him pulling through an ankle tackle away from back-to-back touchdowns. We had one against Purdue that was blocked up exceptionally well. A guy laid out and tripped him up. And then last week there was one that was blocked up exceptionally well, and a guy came from the field, the opposite side, and laid out and just got enough of his heel to click his heels, and he couldn't pull through it and get through the hole. Otherwise, it would have been a touchdown. It was wide open. But we're that close, and I think we're doing a lot of good things in special teams. We really want to get him in the end zone, whether it's on punt returns or kick returns. And right now, our last 2 weeks, we've been really close on kick returns.
877-384-1869 for the coach. 877-384-1869. I'll take our first question off of Twitter. This is from Jim Hoffman. Coach, how are Gio Ruscino and Raheem Blackshear physically? Will they be 100% to go against Maryland?
Yeah, they're both going to play. I don't know about 100%. I don't know how many players are 100% at this point in the season. When you're taking all that banging on Saturdays and then through the week. But they're both going to play. They're both they've had great weeks of practice and excited to watch them go.
And, you mentioned that. I was going to touch on that. The idea that, 8 games in, you've got all your guys are going to be bumped and bruised. So as a coach, how do you manage that during the week to have them as healthy as possible on Saturday?
Well, as a coach, you have a plan. You have thoughts and ideas about your practice and what you want to get done. But you also got to know your team, and you got to know what they can handle, what they can't handle, and you got to adjust and adapt accordingly. There's no perfect science to each year. You're going to do the same thing on week 8. Really, it's a feel for how your team is, and we do have to have a fresh football team on Saturday. We got to work, we got to practice, we got to continue to improve, but we have to have a fresh football team on Saturday. So we have those conversations all the time, and again, there's no magic formula for it. It's just a feel thing. You listen to the players a lot. We talk to the players on how they feel, what's their body like, and then we adjust accordingly.
Now, I was wondering actually too, does going against a certain offense come up with pretty much how you practice? If you're going up against, like you said, a Michigan team that's going to line up, do you do a lot of inside run play periods and things like that? Or when you go up against the spread, maybe you can spread it out a little bit, not have to be as physical. How does that work going into the practice?
Yeah, and there's each week it's a little bit different. As a defensive coach, we bang them all the time. I love to have physical practices. We do inside run. Every Tuesday we do what we call pods period, O-line, D-line, going against each other, good on good every Wednesday. So we get a lot of good on good work, but when you do go against a style of offense like Michigan, there is going to be more banging in practice just because of the fits that you have to work on in practice versus certain spread teams that you may not. But we're going to be a physical practice football team every week.
877-384-1869. We'll take our first break, but want to remind you, tomorrow night, Eric, big event out at Fiddler's Elbow between 7 and 9, put together by New Roads Financial. It is the 5th annual Evening with Eric LeGrand. Should be a good night.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach before we came in, and some of the auction items we got in. Todd Frazier sent his signed jersey and his gloves, and I said I kind of want to keep that for myself, but of course
you got to pay for it.
Exactly, got to go to the cause. So definitely, it's going to be a great night with great items, and come out and have a good time.
Exactly, and once again, it's put together by New Roads Financial. Check it out and come on out to Fiddler's Elbow tomorrow night between 7 and 9. Silent auction. Yourself, Mike Nichols will be there to speak, and it's a terrific night and raising money once again with a chance to, I believe, get near $1 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Our goal is to go over $1 million tomorrow night, so we'll see if we can make it happen.
Outstanding. We'll talk more with the coach in just a moment, and then later on, Rutgers wrestling coach Scott Goodale will be along with Nick Suriano, one of his young wrestlers as well, here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. You're listening to The Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING. When you're looking for tickets to that sold-out event, there's only one place to go. TickCity.com, the official secondary ticket partner of Rutgers Athletics. Scarlet Knight fans can save 10% on all orders when you use the discount code Rutgers at checkout. From sporting events to the hottest concerts, Broadway and family shows across the country, all your ticket needs are covered at your fan-friendly ticket source. TickCity.com. That's TickCity.com.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
When Samantha was in dire need of a new heart, she turned to RWJ Barnabas Health, who performs more adult heart transplants than any healthcare system on the East Coast.
I'm still here.
Jean cherishes every moment spent with her great-grandkids, thanks to our kidney transplant program that ranks among the nation's top 10.
Still here.
Robert promised his granddaughter he'd make it to her next birthday. Thanks to New Jersey's only lung transplant center, he did.
I'm not going anywhere.
From corneal and pancreatic transplants to heart, kidney, and lung, our patients aren't who they used to be. They're better. Learn more about our transplant centers at Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, St. Barnabas Medical Center, and Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Visit rwjbh.org/transplant. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
We have returned to Quaker Steak and Lube for this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. Thanks for joining us. Once again, Rutgers getting ready for Maryland this week, a doubleheader at High Point Solution Stadium. Game was moved out of Yankee Stadium along with the wrestling match because of logistics a couple of weeks ago. Had to make plans either way. From your standpoint, I know you're always thrilled to be at home. Playing at Yankee Stadium would have been special, but at the same time, getting an opportunity to be back home, not the worst thing in the world either.
Oh, no, I'm torn by it. We were really looking forward to the whole setup of the doubleheader in Yankee Stadium. We didn't talk a lot about it as a program, but I know personally I was looking forward to it, excited about it. But a tough decision had to be made between the Yankees and our administration, in anticipation of the Yankees potentially making the World Series. It wasn't going to work if that happened. So they made a decision at the right time, and we're very excited to be back home and in our stadium and in our community for our local fans. It's our home place, and that's where we should be playing, but it would have been cool.
I know coaches don't have a lot of time to think about this, but those black jerseys, Coach, they're gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie.
The blackout.
That blackout.
You like those?
I do. How much time do you actually get to look at those and be like, yeah,
zero.
That's what I'm saying. How much, you have no time to look at that or no input at all?
I had input in them a long time ago, but once we got through that, I really don't care. I mean, it's for the players and for the fans. Whether we're in red uniforms, white uniforms, or black ones, we got to go out and play. The players like it, fans like it, so I'm all in.
And it is the blackout game this week, and Rutgers is encouraging all fans at High Point Solution Stadium on Saturday to wear black to the game. And once again, that is at 3:30 kickoff for the football game. I've got a couple of questions I want to get to you here. First one is on our phone lines. Our guy Mike in Cedar Grove, he is up first. Mike, what's going on? You're on the Chris Ash Show.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Eric. Hi, Coach. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, I'm enjoying the season so far. Looking forward to the big doubleheader this Saturday. Should be an exciting day. Hope the weather cooperates, and looks like it will. But I have a question for Coach about in the Michigan game. Coach, in the Michigan game, I noticed the Michigan defensive line had a fierce rush all day, and you guys, I'm sure, expected it. But I was wondering, I didn't see the fullback in very much this past week in the Michigan game. Was there a reason why you didn't use the fullback to help out with that fierce rush? I think they had like 5 or 6 sacks and many hurries, and or have another tight end to help other than the tight end that goes out on pass patterns. So I'll hang up and I'll listen to your answer. And good luck this Saturday.
Yeah, I'll start with just the personnel. Having a fullback or another tight end, in the formation wouldn't necessarily have helped us in pass protection. It's about fundamentals with the offensive line more than it is anything. Fullback an extra tight end obviously takes another wide receiver off the field, and it limits your options in the pass game and who you can go to. And Michigan not only has an outstanding defensive line, they've got exceptional corners. And if you've just got, one wide out to the left and one to the right and a fullback and a tight end in the game, it's going to be tough to get open against those elite players that they have. A lot of times a slot receiver or a tight end where you can work the middle of the field is a lot easier to find separation and get people open than on the outside when they're pressing you the way that Michigan does, and that's their style of defense.
And maybe, as you said, with the pass rush that was going on, but Jerry Kittle, he just said this week, you guys have seen now with some of these young offensive linemen, they have seen a bunch of different looks now, and it seems like they're finally, starting to understand what's being thrown at them and things like that. He said he's happy to see that they know that they have, all these different looks at them. How are you thinking now? They've seen a bunch of stuff from Michigan, from Ohio State. You pretty much seen how to the top level of pass rushes and things like that. How do you feel now that the offensive line has made progress over this year?
Well, I'll go against the 3 top, probably regarded teams that we played. We started with Washington. I thought we did an exceptional job with Washington, but they were a little bit different. Their style of defensive line play is different than Ohio State's. They're more of a read attack team. Ohio State's defensive line is more of an attack react team. It's completely different. So those styles of, the Washington one was a lot easier to identify and protect than Ohio State. So Ohio State's got, in my opinion, the top defensive line in the country. And it's not only because of their talent, because of their depth. They can keep guys fresh and roll a lot of guys in. We really struggled in that game. Then we go to Michigan. And I think because of the Washington and the Ohio State game, I know we gave up 5 sacks, but we did protect better in that game and gave our quarterback more time on some plays than I thought we probably would. Because it's not only the D-line that's exceptional, they blitz a lot. And some of their looks are a little bit unique and different, and it does put stress on protections. But our line definitely showed signs of progress against Michigan.
Steve, checking in on Twitter. Coach, can you fill us in on the progress of some of your young receivers, notably Bo Melton, Hunter Hayek, and Everett Wormley?
Yeah, I like all 3 of them. They're getting better. Bo has been slowed at times with an injury, but he's getting through practices. He's trying to get better. Hayek is playing a lot. He had an exceptional one-handed catch there against Michigan. Thought he had another one that he just dropped, but I think he's really giving us all he's got and getting better. And then Everett's doing a really nice job. I really like him. Everett's a really hard-nosed, tough kid that shows up every single day to work.
Can you explain that to me for 1 second? The one play that was ruled a catch versus not a catch, and we know in the NFL you don't know what's a catch anymore. College rules. The ball that he rolled over looked like he was down and had control and then didn't maintain it. Does he have to maintain it all the way through?
Yeah, you got to complete the catch, and that was the rule. And I saw it on the replay. He didn't complete the catch. I know a lot of people probably think that he did, and I wish that he would have, but I didn't think in the moment that he did either from my vantage point on the sideline. Then it was confirmed through replay.
Okay.
And another guy, wanted to mention a young guy, Mo Jabby, coming through. I saw that you mentioned that he's one of those guys that goes every single day at practice, and then it gets to show up in the game. And talk a little bit about him. Yeah,
I'm really fired up about him. He's a redshirt freshman that when you talk about the 3 true freshmen we just talked about, then you talk about him as a redshirt freshman. Those are 4 young players, and Mo just keeps getting better all the time. He's contributing a significant amount on special teams right now. He's one of our guys run down on kickoff. He's doing things on the punt return team. He's doing stuff on the kickoff return team. He's doing a lot for us, and he's getting better and better at receiver. But you got 4 very young players right there for the future of our offense that I'm just, very excited about. And
this is one question from Facebook Live that we have for Coach Canova in relation to the young players. This is from Kevin Patrick. I'd like to know how he thinks your young players' progress compares to similar players that you had at the same stage, whether you were, he mentions Ohio State, whether it could have been Arkansas, Wisconsin, same kind of thing.
Well, it's all different. Everybody handles the transition to college differently. Once you get into school, you get into the grind of football weeks and preparation. Everybody handles it differently. There's physical, mental transition, things that players go through. So I think they're handling it fine. Some on our team, like Hunter Hayek, is he's a pro. He's handling his business like a pro. Takes care of his body, takes care of his schoolwork, prepares, watches film, and that's why he's playing, the way that he's playing on game day for a true freshman, and other guys are still learning, how to be a pro and do their business like a pro.
And have you found that switching to the afternoon has helped them get more rest and being able to prepare more during the week and get things done than doing it in the morning practices?
Yeah, you know what? I like our schedule right now. It's what I've been used to at other places. I'm not saying that the morning you can't be successful. There are a lot of people that do practices in the morning during the season. I just wasn't comfortable with it, with the coaches' preparation, the amount of time we could be with the players. And then, the players having to be up early every single morning throughout the course of the week. I do think they get more rest with this schedule, and it gives us as coaches a better opportunity to prepare before we get into meetings and practice in the afternoon. So it was a little bit different early on in the season. First couple weeks, it was a major transition for the players that have been in the program. For the freshmen, and that's all they knew. It was no problem. But for the older guys, it took a little bit of time to get transitioned into it. But I think we're in a really good spot right now. Our practices continue to get better and better and better. And it's just a proof to what we're doing. And I think it'll be better as we go through the season and on into the next couple of years.
Rutgers head coach Chris Ash. This is the Chris Ash Show. Once again, 877-384-1869. Your telephone number for questions for the coach. You can tweet them at Rutgers Radio. You can watch on Facebook Live. Send us your questions there. And if you're in attendance here at Quaker Steak and Lube, by all means, come on up front and get your question in for the coach. Now, credit to Hasim Phillips and to Jimmy Gill and the.
Hasim, whoa.
That's right.
Hold on. Did I hear you mention you're giving credit to Hasim?
That's correct. Yes, I am. The Rutgers Sports
He's the one that took
staff.
Fuchs' steak a couple weeks ago.
Well, that's Fuchs' problem. That's not my problem. Well, I want to give Hasim and Jimmy Gill and Bradley some credit because this note has been in there the last few weeks, and it's something I took a good hard look at the other night. In 10 different statistical categories, and these are incredibly important categories, there has been significant improvement this season versus a year ago for your football team. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on the fact that, and I'll tell you the categories in a second. We don't have to go through each one, but just when you're able to see this level of progress. In these categories, there's, 127, 129 Division I football schools in the FBS. On average, with these 10 categories, you have improved 50 spots, 5-0. I mean, that's massive improvement over a year ago. And these categories,
you got to tell me what those are.
No, on average, I'll tell you what these spots are, okay? Third down defense, kick return defense. We've seen your kick return coverage, in other words, net punting, interceptions, rushing defense, sacks allowed, scoring defense.
Rushing defense?
That's what it says.
Wow.
The scoring defense
Hasim.
is improved. Hey, it's improved 40 spots from a year ago. Sacks allowed.
We were bad last year, weren't we?
Improvements there. I'm trying to help you here. But the improvement has been there with the scoring defense, total defense, time of possession, and turnover margin. But on average, 50 spots all told in those categories. So just from your own standpoint, the improvement that you get to see day in and day out from your football team and being able to quantify it in a lot of ways. Even though, look, rush defense, you didn't necessarily have your best day this past week, but we have seen in other instances this year, you've had very stout run defenses at times.
I mean, I think it's called player development, and it's called working the process. Came here with a vision, came here with the plan, and it's going to take time for it to continue to work, but I'm hoping through year 1 to year 2 and those categories that you mentioned are tangible signs that progress is being made and we're headed in the right direction. Are we where we need to be? Not even close. I'm not very patient. It just drives me nuts every single day that we're not at a certain spot, but it is what it is. But the process is working. The players' belief is very strong. Those numbers have got to continue to improve, and we got to get better in a lot of other categories that we're not really good at right now. But I'm happy of the direction that we're going. I feel like the plan is in place and it's working. It's just going to continue to take time to develop players, recruit, and develop our schemes the way we want to get them done.
And as you talk about player progress, another guy that started to stand out to me a little bit, no, he's not perfect, but he started to make plays, is Kevin Wilkins. Can you talk about what he's been able to do on that defensive line and how he's getting better as you see him on the film? Yeah,
he's a lot bigger and stronger this year from last year. We've changed some of his fundamentals, and I really think they've helped him and benefited him with his skill set. So I think he's playing outstanding on Saturdays. He can continue to play better, but he's just doing a great job with his hands. He's violent with his hands. He's getting off blocks. He's doing a great job in the run game.
One of those categories in particular, I did want to specifically ask you about. Third down defense has been very good this year, at 17th in the country at just 30%. Just from your standpoint, why the big jump in that category this year? What has made your defense more effective?
Well, I try to educate people on this all the time. It's players.
Yeah.
The players win games. Players make categories look really good. And our players have developed. They're very confident. They believe in what we're doing. They're playing faster on game day. And it's just player development. Player development doesn't happen overnight. And, we had a bunch of new players that played for the first time in some critical spots last year. They're a lot better this year. We've got a guy like Kamoko Ture who really didn't even play last year. I think he might have played 15, 20 snaps all year. He's an every down player for us, right now. Our corners are in secondary with all the new guys are playing exceptionally well, right now. But we can do more things on third down right now, too, just because of the knowledge that the players have compared to last year. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But at the end of the day, it's the players going out and executing the calls with tremendous effort and belief in what we're doing that allows you to have success.
I was going to ask you how much of you is rubbing off on those defensive backs and being able to come up with
I hope not
turnovers.
a damn thing.
Come on, Coach. Give yourself some credit, man. Yeah. How much ever out these defensive backs, you can see that they are getting better and they're making plays and they're trusting their instincts and reading their keys, you know. Can you talk about what's rubbing off on that?
Hopefully it's the discipline. With their eyes and their technique and their fundamentals and taking pride in their performance at practice as well as in games. They really want to do well, and they understand the style of defense that we play is an aggressive one. We are a press team, and we press just about every snap. And you got to have a certain mentality and approach to the game to do that, and they believe in it, and they've embraced it. And, our secondary is very thin right now. We get everybody back next year. We got a lot of dudes coming back. I think we're going to have an outstanding secondary next year. I think our linebacking group is going to be awesome next year with all the guys that we've got coming back. We just got to keep coaching, keep getting better, keep finding ways to win games, and we're going to be pretty excited about what we've got for next year too.
All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll give you a little break here, get a chance to visit with Rutgers wrestling coach Scott Goodale and Nick Suriano as well. They're going to join us in just a moment. First half of the doubleheader this Saturday at High Point Solution Stadium, 12 noon. Rutgers wrestling taking on Maryland, and of course at 3:30 kickoff. It is Rutgers taking on Maryland in football. Here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison on 1450 AM WCTC in New Brunswick and on RVision and Facebook Live. This is the Chris Ash Show.
ESPN's Neil Everett here. This college football season, Nissan's putting you in the driver's seat. Go to NissanHeismanHouse.com. Build a customized Titan wrapped in your school's colors. Then register for a chance to win it. Enter the Nissan Heisman House sweepstakes. Take on today.
Get to Nissan, proud partner of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Ends 12/8/17. Open to residents of USDC 18 and older. Official rules at NissanUSA.com/Heisman House sweepstakes. Sponsored by Nissan North America.
You're on the couch watching the game, and your friend hands you an ice-cold bottle of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. This is a big moment. That's the sound you love. And that new and improved taste? Yeah, that's the refreshing, delicious, real Coca-Cola taste that you just can't get enough of. All this with zero sugar and 0 calories. Perfection. And then, touchdown! Refresh your game day with the new and improved taste of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Taste the feeling.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
You couldn't miss that wedding, birthday party, or whatever event you felt obligated to attend. So you missed the game. And more importantly, the game program. Not to worry. IMGProducts.net has got you covered with official programs and yearbooks from many of the nation's top schools, plus conference and NCAA championships. Visit IMGProducts.net to browse the hundreds of publications available. IMGProducts.net. We've got you covered.
We have returned here to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison for this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. Rutgers taking on Maryland this coming Saturday at High Point Solution Stadium, both in wrestling and in football. The doubleheader starts at noon with wrestling, and joining us now, Rutgers wrestling coach Scott Goodale. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Good to have you here, and one of your new young wrestlers, a young man that has already received a lot of ink, but we're thrilled to have him here, and that's Nick Suriano. Nick, good to have you with us. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, the Scarlet Knights open up this week, and just found out yesterday that you are preseason number 12 in the country after you finished up number 12 last season. So, Coach, through the preseason, getting ready to get things going, give us your impressions of your team.
It's been a really good preseason. I think we had a really, really good summer, maybe the best we've ever had since I've been here. Obviously, the acquisition of Nick has really improved our room. with his work ethic and getting some of these guys off of red shirt back into our lineup. There's obviously a lot of energy and enthusiasm within our room. So it's been a great preseason. We're just excited to put our hands on somebody else, so to speak. And it's been enough of wrestling with each other. It's time to wrestle somebody else.
And Coach, people say you got to be a different breed to play football. You have to be a different breed to wrestle. I remember I tried it out when I was 8 years old, and I remember the first day I come into practice, and the coach said, "All right, we're going to warm up, do 100 laps around the mat." And I said, 100 laps around the mat? Like, I'm 8 years old. I remember, I never forgot about that. What got you into coaching wrestling? And I want to hear your background just on how it all started for you, your journey with it.
Yeah, I grew up doing that, running 100 laps around a wrestling mat when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, and knew I wanted to coach. And my grandfather was a football coach, Far Rockaway High School. My father was a football coach who also did wrestling. So I knew what I was going to do. I was very, very fortunate to know what I was going to do. And it was going to go away to college and wrestle, come back and coach high school football and high school wrestling. That's all I ever wanted to do, and that's what I set out to do. And you're right, it's a different breed. It's a certain mindset to be really good. You got to have something up here, and the guy next to me has that, and a bunch of our other guys have that. And when you got that, it's you're a little bit different cat. You know what I'm saying? And it makes you really good. So if you have it, you're in good shape.
Now, Nick, your journey to get to Rutgers, received a lot of publicity. Had to be kind of a stressful time for you. Take us through what it was like for you, and once you finally got the news that you were going to get that waiver and be able to compete this year at Rutgers.
It was a process. I trusted my coaches. I trusted the people behind me. It took a lot of help, but I trusted it. I was working hard all summer for this weekend. That's what I focus on, training, competing. And I'm here in a Rutgers singlet. I'm back home. So it's my decision, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, I wanted to mention, how happy are you that your family will be right here, being able to come right down the road and be able to watch you?
That's the most important thing to me. I mean, I've had my whole family. They always come to all my matches. They've seen me train. They've been through this whole journey before. So it means the world to me.
Now, Coach, there have been a couple of things that have gone on during the offseason that just have been absolutely terrific. And number one, 2,000 season tickets sold for Rutgers Wrestling this year. And that's absolutely fantastic. And I know it wasn't just about selling the tickets, but you really made it more about honoring the memory of Sam Cali.
Yeah, that was important. We had an anonymous donor who offered up a challenge in the name of Sam Cali to get a room dedicated to him in the new facility. And I thought that was a great idea to be able to honor Sam, and that name will be there forever. And Sam was a young wrestler in our program that our guys were really, really close with. So that kind of hit us hard, and it was easy to just get everybody on board and get after it because it was in Sam's name. So to have 2,000 plus season tickets right now is huge. I remember, and I tell this story quite a bit. I remember wrestling, December 4th, January 4th, 2008, in front of 22 fans at College Ave Gymnasium. And here we are with over 2,000 season tickets, and getting word that Penn State home match is already close to a sellout, and Iowa home match is already close to a sellout at the rack. So it's a great time right now. We're excited, and I just want to say thank you to our loyal fans and loyal wrestling fans out there that continue to support us.
And, Nick, knowing that you're going to be able to wrestle in front of these size crowds at the rack, which last year 6-0 at home, this is a major, major home court advantage, home mat advantage, I guess you'd call it. Just it's got to be exciting for you, to be sure.
Oh, absolutely. Hometown crowd. This is my state. I mean, this is my home here. I got a bunch of fans, a bunch of people, my family. I got a hungry team behind me, so I'm just looking ready. I'm ready to perform. I know how to put on a show, and it's about doing what I do best.
And Coach, now, you're wrestling in the Big Ten. Can you talk about what it's been like now for Rutgers being able to be on the map with the Ohio State, Penn State, Iowa, and being able to go against those people week in and week out and be able, like you said, defend the home at 6-0 last year?
Yeah, I mean, Big Ten wrestling it's what it's all about. I think a couple years ago we were 5th in the Big Ten and 10th in the country. So it's a great conference, and it doesn't get easy. It was hard because when we first got into the conference, we weren't going after the Big Ten athletes, so to speak. I mean, we were, but it was hard to get somebody away from a Big Ten school. And next thing you know, we have a lineup full of really EIWA guys at the time, and we had to go out and find, you got to get the best guys. Everybody says you got to keep the Jersey guys home, and that's true. but you got to get the best guys in the country to compete in this conference, and that's what we're trying to do now. And so it's been tough, but it's been an unbelievable challenge, one we look forward to year in and year out. We love our home schedule. You know, we're going to wrestle 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 in the country, all in our own backyard. So it's exciting. We think we can compete with them. We're going to compete with them, and that's just kind of that's our mindset and where we're at right now.
Just take me back 5 years to 2012 when Rutgers, it was announced, was joining the Big Ten, and you first got the news. And I know what it's like. We all think of the Big Ten. We think of football. The most legendary programs in wrestling are in the Big Ten. So from your standpoint, what was the first thing that you thought of when you knew you were getting into the conference?
Can I be honest? I mean,
absolutely.
Is this a PG? Can this be PG? When I first, I was
clean.
Like, holy, like, you know, I was at a red light. Tim Pernetti called me, and boom, that was it. And it was like, let's go to work. We just got to get better. We're forced to get better, and that's what we did. We hit the ground running. We recruited harder, recruited more. We've been everywhere we can go to get the best guys in the country, and that was my mindset. We just got to work harder. We have to be able to compete right away. We can't take a step back because we had it going really well in 2011 and 12, and it wasn't a time to take a step back and use the conference as an excuse. It was about going forward and finding a way to win dual meets, win matches, perform at the national tournament.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, I'm not sure how the rules go when it comes to recruiting for wrestling. Can you educate me a little bit? How are you able to go to some of these high school matches or catch them in the off season and things like that? How does the recruiting process go when it comes from wrestling?
It's certainly different than football. You know, you're allowed to really. There's a dead period in November. There's one in April, I believe, and you're allowed to go out and watch these guys compete and wrestle. You can go to their high schools. You can watch them practice really all year round. Really? And you know, there's a lot of summer tournaments that go on and national tournaments that go on throughout the spring and summer that we attend, obviously. But it never stops, just like for every other sport. Recruiting never ends, and the rules now have turned into juniors, and you know, now you can visit juniors. And I was out in Denver, Colorado last week visiting 2 kids from Colorado who are juniors. So that's changed for us. Normally we were never able to do that. It wasn't until their senior year, but that changed this past year where we can now contact them as juniors.
Okay. Hey, Nick, when we go to wrestling matches at Rutgers, you can see the intensity of the head coach, and that's pretty clear.
For sure.
So what's it like in practice? What is Scott Goodale like as a coach?
Just full of energy, full of passion, takes it serious, is dedicated, and wants to win. I mean, we're here to win. You know, we're here to climb the ranks, and just like myself, I'm here to win an NCAA title. We're here to win, and that's the main goal. So.
And you come in here, and this is a team now that has 8 NCAA qualifiers from last year. This is ready-made to have some pretty good success.
For sure, no doubt. I mean, not just me. We have a whole hungry team of people who have chasing their goals. We have potential All-Americans, NCAA champs. I'm not the only NCAA champ people are, talking about. Possible NCAA champ. There's people that can win a title. I honestly believe that, and I think we're going to shock teams this year. We're going to shock the ranks. I'm not the one to talk or anything like that. I'm just about performing and doing what I do, and you'll see how I perform. But I think our whole team, as a unit, from our coaching staff, our preparation, I think we're ready to go.
And Coach, we always talk about in football, coaching the players and how each one takes. In wrestling, I know it's a team sport when it comes to points, but it's one-on-one out there. How do you develop a relationship with your players to know how each one of them take it, and how do they get going? Because some may be yelled at, some might not like to be yelled at. How does that go as a coach?
Eric, that's a great question. Every single kid is different. We have 30 guys on our roster. Every single one of them is different, and it's constant communication, constant dialogue. Some guys like you on them, in their face type, and some guys you don't do that with, and you kind of leave them alone and guide them. And if they want help, they communicate. But some guys love that approach, and some guys don't. So each guy's different. I think it's constant dialogue. I'd be silly not to mention my staff. Donnie Pritzloff is one of the best coaches in the world right now, and he's on our staff. So he has a great background of not only winning at the highest level, but how to coach the best guys in the country. So John Leonardis has been with me since day one, and Joe Pollard's been with me the last 7 years. So right now it's a really good system we have in place, and it starts with our staff. It's constant dialogue with our staff, and then it trickles down to the guys in our program and communication. I know that was a big thing for Nick, was constant communication. Constant communication. That's what I hope we've provided with him so far and continue to provide for him as we go forward.
Before we let you go, guys, Coach, for you, the other guys on this team, the guys with great experience, the Nick Ravinas, Raison Gross, the former football player, Scott Delvecchio, is there a characteristic that you want your team to share, to have? This is what Rutgers wrestling is all about.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's about passion, loving what you do, fighting hard for every single point, being just tough as all get out. I mean, there's guys on that roster that aren't the best wrestlers in the world. They're just not, Not everyone's a Nick or an Ashnault or a Richie Lewis, but we got guys that are tough and that will fight you, and the guys you want in the bunker with you when you go to war, so to speak. And that's really what I've always been brought up on, my coaching philosophy. Find a way to get these guys tough, and I think you could teach that. And I think that's one thing you'll see certainly on Saturday, but through the course of the year. We might not be the best guys, but we're going to fight every single second for every single point. And that's really always been our mantra at Rutgers.
And that's the one question I wanted to ask you actually about wrestling. How much talent goes into a match, and how much fight can go into something? Like, if you have fight and that will, determination not to give up and beat somebody, how much does that affect actually a match in wrestling?
Well, that's kind of a two-part. I mean, I was listening to Coach speak before. He's right. If you got the players, you're going to find a way to win. If you got the good ones, and if you got the best wrestlers, you're going to win. But at the end of the day, it's about discipline. It's about fight. It's about hunger. I've recruited a lot of great high school wrestlers. And the ones that end up doing well at this level are the ones that are just super disciplined and super tough. And they weren't the best in high school, but there's a chip on their shoulder, and they want to win at the highest level. And if you can put two of them together, if you have a great athlete and a great wrestler and someone who trains and works really, really hard, then you have something special.
You ever wrestle outside before?
No, never.
You getting ready for this? You gearing up for it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a wrestling match. 7 minutes. We prepare all year long for this, so it's nothing different. I'm excited for it. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. The doubleheader on Saturday, Rutgers wrestling at noon, taking on Maryland. Coach Scott Goodale, Nick Suriano, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Chris.
Got me fired up, ready to go. I'm ready to go wrestle.
Coach Ash will rejoin us in a moment when we come back to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. This is the Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
For Rutgers fans, Saturday is game day. For business owners, it's another day in your work week. UPS gets that, and that's why they offer Saturday delivery, so you can keep things running smoothly, even while your customers drop everything for the game. Stay on top of your game. Ship with UPS, official logistics company of Rutgers Athletics.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
You're on the couch watching the game, and your friend hands you an ice-cold bottle of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. This is a big moment. That's the sound you love. And that new and improved taste? Yeah, that's the refreshing, delicious, real Coca-Cola taste that you just can't get enough of. All this with zero sugar and 0 calories. Perfection. And then, touchdown! Refresh your game day with the new and improved taste of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Taste the feeling.
The passion.
25 first down, 20, 15, 10, 5, 3, 2, 1.
The fury.
Inhaled in the backfield. Sack for the Huskies.
The speed.
Here's a home run ball. He's out there. He catches it.
The best in college football from coast to coast.
Touchdown, Notre Dame. 13-0 Buckeyes. To the goal line. Touchdown, Texas. Ball's on the carpet. Georgia says we have it. He's in. Touchdown, Michigan.
This is the Nissan College Football Blitz. Listen on Saturdays this fall on College Sports Now on TuneIn.
We have returned to Quaker Steak and Lube here in Edison for the Chris Ash Show. Rutgers getting set to take on Maryland this coming Saturday. Let's talk about this matchup. And Coach, with Maryland, they come into the season. They have gone through a couple of quarterbacks due to injury. But give us your scouting report on the Terps, who enter the game at 4-4.
Well, when you watch film on them, the thing that jumps out at you is their speed. Their skill positions are very fast. They've got some really good receivers. They've got dynamic running backs. They do a great job in the return game, kick return, punt return. They're dynamic, and they got a chance to make a difference in the game every time the ball is either kicked off or punted. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge for us. Two teams fighting for the same thing, to continue to build and build a great program in this league, and came in at the same time. And it's going to be a great matchup. The games so far between Rutgers and Maryland have been pretty exciting games, and don't expect this one to be any different.
And how big is it going to be for them, for your actually kickoff team, your special teams? They try to pin them inside the 25-yard line. As you said, they're in that spread offense. They try to get their guys one-on-one and try to make big plays. But if they have to drive the field each time, how big is kickoff coverage going to play in this game?
It's going to be huge. We talk about the battle of field position all the time, and how important our kickoff coverage and punt coverage units are to win that battle. And we've been getting better and better, every week. And we just talked today on Wednesdays, the first day of the week. We usually work on our kickoff coverage for the opponent. We spent a lot of time on it today, and in meetings and in practice, because of the challenge that lays in front of us. They've returned one for a touchdown, had another explosive kickoff return last week against Indiana. But, we're excited about it. Every time we get a chance to go up against a great returner, our players just seem to lock in and focus and prepare better. And this one is no different. You always got to make a choice. You're going to kick it out or kick it to them, and our guys want to kick it to them.
Well, it has been one of the best units in the country this year at covering kicks. Rutgers has really made big strides, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that your punter is now being mentioned and is officially on the Ray Guy Award watch list. And right now, Ryan Anderson leading the Big Ten in punting at 44 yards per kick. And, boy, he has made a huge difference for this team.
Yeah, I really like him. He's got a strong leg and has just gotten better as the season's gone on. And talk again about the battle of field position. He's really helped change field position. Our net punting has really improved throughout the course of the season. We had a couple of the big returns earlier in the year, but because of his leg and the hang time that he's getting, we've been able to reduce those. And, last Saturday he punted exceptionally well, probably too good. We had a couple balls that were kicked into the end zone for touchbacks that hurt our net punting in last week's game. But that whole punt unit has gotten a lot better. And
I know you focus a lot on the defense for the Scarlet Knights, but what have you seen from Maryland's defensive side so far?
They play really hard. They really do. They do a great job of using their hands. They blitz and pressure a lot. They move their front a lot. They don't give up a lot of big plays down the field. They close the middle of the field a lot. But I'm just really impressed with the effort that they play with on defense, and just their whole football team. They've done a good job of getting those guys to buy in and play hard, and that's what we think we get out of our football team too.
We'll take a timeout. Our final one of the night. We'll get a question in from our guy Jim in North Brunswick in just a moment. From Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, you're listening to The Chris Ash Show.
When Samantha was in dire need of a new heart, she turned to RWJ Barnabas Health, who performs more adult heart transplants than any healthcare system on the East Coast.
I'm still here.
Jean cherishes every moment spent with her great-grandkids, thanks to our kidney transplant program that ranks among the nation's top 10.
Still here.
Robert promised his granddaughter he'd make it to her next birthday. Thanks to New Jersey's only lung transplant center, he did.
I'm not going anywhere.
From corneal and pancreatic transplants to heart, kidney, and lung, our patients aren't who they used to be. They're better. Learn more about our transplant centers at Newark Beth Israel Medical Center, St. Barnabas Medical Center, and Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital. Visit rwjbh.org/transplant. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube. Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2.50, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar open all year round. On the way to the game and need something to go? Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size. Watch all the games, have a great time, and enjoy the best wings in the USA. 561 Route 1 in Edison. 732-777-WING.
When you're looking for tickets to that sold-out event, there's only one place to go. TickCity.com, the official secondary ticket partner of Rutgers Athletics. Scarlet Knight fans can save 10% on all orders when you use the discount code Rutgers at checkout. From sporting events to the hottest concerts, Broadway and family shows across the country, all your ticket needs are covered at your fan-friendly ticket source. TickCity.com. That's TIXCITY.com.
Couple of minutes left with Rutgers head coach Chris Ash. Right now, our guy Jim in North Brunswick is here, and he has got his question. How are you, Jim?
Hey, Coach. Hey, Chris. How are you? Coach, you talk a lot about watching film, and I know you watch film as groups, meaning offense, defense, linebackers, et cetera, et cetera. Do the groups ever watch film together? Like, for example, do the defensive linemen watch film with the linebackers so they can talk about things, or do they stay pretty separate?
No, the units get together. You know, quarterbacks and wide receivers get together a lot. Running backs and O-line get together a lot for pass protection, and tight ends are in there for pass protection. Linebackers and D-line get together and talk about run fits and gap integrity and responsibilities and things like that. Linebackers and DBs get together and watch some 7-on-7 or pass concepts to make sure everyone's on the same page with coverage responsibilities. So there's a good balance between both individual units. You know, one, it starts with players individually, then it's units, and then it's units getting together to watch film.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks. I almost had to stop the show. You weren't here at the start. I didn't think you were going to make it.
I got here.
Hey, man, it's a great night. I'm glad you came.
Jim, one of our loyal guys, in here every week. We have yet another tremendous crowd on hand here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. And now with Maryland this week, you're entering the final third of your season. And look, you're constantly looking for growth and progress, but with your team, you know, physically having gone through the rigors of the first 2/3 of the year so far, what are you looking for from them here over the final third of this season?
We got to continue to just get better and better. And we really have not played our best football game yet in all three phases. We've played at times good on offense, at times good on defense, at times good on special teams. We have not played a game where all three phases have played as good as they can play. And that's really what we're striving to try to get done every Saturday. And that's the goal. And until we get there, we're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And then once we get there, we got to see how we can do it consistently.
And you know how you said in the football, not everyone's 100%, but would you say this is probably the most that your team has been healthy since the beginning of the year?
I don't know about that. I mean, we've gotten some guys back. Every week we seem to get some guys back, but then we lose somebody else. And just the way it is. College football's that way. Football in general is that way. NFL goes through it all the time. The difference is we can't replace them like the NFL can. You know, so when you lose them, it hurts.
And yet another Saturday. It's the blackout, like we said. Rutgers wants the fans to wear black, and we've seen the impact that the home fans can have in a football game. And this week certainly a very, very important week for this team.
Yeah, it's a big game, and our players are excited about it, and hopefully our fans are too. We're really wanting and hoping and expecting a great turnout Saturday from our fans, our student section, everybody here. Again, appreciate you guys showing up every Wednesday. It's a lot of fun to come when you got loyal fans here, and hopefully we got great loyal fans on Saturday to make it an outstanding home environment.
Coach, good luck this week.
Thank you.
And good luck, Coach. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, 12 noon, Rutgers wrestling against Maryland, and then 3:30, Rutgers football, also taking on Maryland, and it is 2-for-1. Come on out, and remember to wear black for the big doubleheader this coming Saturday. Thank you to Hasim Phillips and Bradley Del Vecchio, along with our guy Colin Osborne and the great Tim DeMartin. And Paul Schrager as well. Outstanding work for Eric LeGrand and the coach Chris Ash. Chris Scarlett speaking. We'll talk to you next week. Rutgers and Maryland this Saturday. A doubleheader. It's wrestling and football at High Point Solution Stadium. See you then.
You've been listening to The Chris Ash Show on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Join us throughout the season from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison to hear from the head football coach of the Scarlet Knights. The Chris Ash Show has been brought to you by The Chris Ash Show is an exclusive presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports.